Everybody, we are back. It is Saved on Last favorite podcast, favorites, channel favorites, everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also, follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at Glen Rockney for Glenn. And of course, pandasubs.com, discount code for TDL for 35% off. All right, Glenn. So we finally made it here, man. It's football time. We're going to get some live action. We're gonna get this QB competition handled, and it's that time, man. It's Raiders versus Vikings tomorrow up in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
So how you feeling about it?
Oh, good. I sensed a little bit of sadness on among Raider Nation this week. Like it just seemed really depressed, and I mean I'm a little bummed that Aiden O'Connell hasn't just snatched this job, and it definitely is leaning more towards Gardner Minshew, who clearly has had the better camp at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see why fans are a little bummed. I think there's going to be overreactions big time to first round quarterback play. Just as there is right now with Drake May, there's going to be the same where with Penix and JJ McCarthy, who the Raiders are playing. So if JJ McCarthy has a drive or two against the Raiders that looks good, Raider fans who swore they would never touch him with a 10-foot pole are going to say, wow, well, we should have. And I'm just ready to let people know that Zach Wilson, guys like that all had really nice preseasons, and they're all top picks, and it happens a lot. And, you know, they're just wait and see, guys. Like it's okay. And even this year, since they missed out on those quarterbacks, it's gonna be, you know, they're building the right way. I think they're still trending in the right direction, despite losing the battle of musical chairs for quarterbacks this year.
Yeah. Because I mean, somebody posted Kenny Pickett's preseason last year. I guess he threw one incomplete pass the whole preseason.
Today, I think, wasn't he today throwing touchdowns for the Eagles? Like he's cooking.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's how I expect Gardner Minshew to play. You know, so that's why
I'd be a little worried if he was like terrible, to be honest.
Yeah, if he went out there and was terrible, man, I'd be super worried because that's when I would get worried. I mean, even Aiden, I think Aiden's probably going to play well too. I think they're going to be able to move the football. There's some good. They still have some good weapons out there, especially when if they're playing against twos and stuff like that. So if we see them both struggle in the game, right? Like especially this first one, that's when, you know, I'm gonna be a little worried because, you know, like because even if there is like a starter in the NFL, like we saw CJ Stroud, he went down the field in like 3 seconds. You know what I mean? That's what like kind of a starter does. Kind of expect them to kind of see like not like that, but you want to see them at least get a field goal, man. I want to see these guys move the football.
Yeah, move down the field, no turnover. Really, to me, it's just going to be turning the ball over. The way this team's constructed, I think the really depressing part for Pierce and the rest of the coaches is, yes, the defense is dominating, but like the quarterbacks really are turning the ball over a lot. And like, let's be real, like I think I'm high on the Raiders defense this year, but I don't think it's the 85 Bears. And like you should be like getting the better of them here and there and showing something. And, you know, Getsy talks about it a little bit where he's like, look, we're not always calling what we want to call against the front that we're getting. So it's, you know, he's like, I think there's going to be times in the preseason or even early in the regular season where the offense does look a little bit better and they're not just like trying to work something out. But yeah, it's if the quarterbacks have bad games and like Anthony Brown balls out, like Twitter's gonna be insane. If the two quarterbacks, like it's gonna be insane, or like Carter Bradley or something comes in the fourth quarter and has a touchdown drive, like people, it just is really
Anthony Brown, bro. Anthony Brown.
Yeah, I could see it. No, I could see it like a 45-yard run. I just don't want to. I just don't want to overreact right now because I do like the overall culture that they're building, and it's AP's first year, and it's an install of culture year. And you can still win games doing that. You know, you could still win games doing that. And I think they're going to.
Yeah. And to be honest, like I always say, we haven't seen the run game yet. So, I mean, if the run game looks really good tomorrow, I think that's going to be the big thing, especially I don't know how much Samir White's going to play. I'm sure they'll probably play most of the ones. I think they're going to play for a little bit, at least some of it. And then we'll see Madison. And then we'll get to the backups, see how quick Dylan Lobby plays. But those that's what's going to be the key for me because that's the big thing with these quarterbacks is like we haven't talked about running the ball yet, and that's what's going to help everybody around, right? You keep these guys from throwing the ball as much as you can, and we keep them to like the 27 to 30 passes. I think we will be okay as long as they don't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
The big thing, man, is not turn the ball over. So hopefully there's no picks tomorrow, because that's going to be killer, right? I mean, whoever throws picks tomorrow is going to be part of that competition. Is really just going to start to sway towards that guy. But yeah, that's what we're watching tomorrow. I mean, we're going to get into like other people we're watching besides that. But come on, let's keep it real, guys. We're all watching the quarterback battle. That's what we want to see who takes the lead here, because nobody wants it right now, man. Because I thought Gardner Minshew was going to take it after last week's scrimmage. And then I don't know if he went out or something like that. I don't know if he went and partied in Vegas, but then he came out on Monday just flat and overthrowing people. And then O'Connell was starting to come back, and then they both sucked on Tuesday. And then, so it's so back and forth, but we'll see what's happening.
Yeah, you always got to be careful with Gardner Minshew, because like John Mayer and the Dead and Company play at the Sphere a lot. So I know his ass will be tripping there one night. Like, so I just, I'm not against that for like me to do, but for him, I don't really. I mean, and if you see him there, it's me. Don't blow him up, like. But I
yeah,
just mean, it's not Gardner. Chill out. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I just, no, I'm joking. But that's the other thing too, is Gardner Minshew didn't have that good of a camp. Like, it's not like he came out and crushed it. It's because Aiden lost the job, and I think that's where the kind of general, like, I could see most of the staff kind of wanted Aiden O'Connell to beat him out, like, and it didn't happen. And he should have it by now. Yeah, if Gardner Minshew comes out and stinks and Aiden O'Connell has a good preseason, he could probably take the job back. I don't think it's said and done yet.
Yeah.
But it's just really, I think we all thought, you and I included, that Aiden O'Connell was going to come in and just be the better guy. And I think that still would have its limitations on the year, but it just sucks to be in the position where it's like, oh no, do we like have to play Gardner Minshew now? That becomes, he's not a luxury anymore as a backup.
Exactly. And to be honest, if O'Connell's not playing well, you would expect Minshew just to have it by now. That's the thing too, right? Like, O'Connell's not doing the best. He's not making the plays that he needs to make or whatever, and they're not. And he's looking hesitant, like Greg Rosenthal said. But you would expect him to already have it. That would be my thing, because he's the veteran. But like somebody said, he's a gamer. But I hate those type of quarterbacks. Like, what do you mean you're a gamer? It's practice. You can't.
Well, you're a gamer, but it's like, those guys down to down struggle a lot more when you watch every play.
Yeah.
Like a lot of game. Now I will say, I understand Minshew from I think he's already a more clutch quarterback than O'Connell is. Like, I do think that. The worry you have with Minshew is, does he play you out of a clutch moment, like to where you don't even have that at the end of the game? Now, if it's a one-score game, and I think this defense is going to have the have it be within 3 to 10 points, a lot of deficits, like they're going to be able to like stop bleeding, I think, really well. And that was the difference in the Jets not making the playoffs last year, or not being a very good team last year, and even the Raiders last year, is there were a couple games that really just, they needed one score. And Minshew, I can see that. I can see him, the appeal of him to this team. But I still also think like Getsy and Pearson, he's just too rogue, and it's tough to like run an offense with him, because he's just going to be Gardner Minshew on your team, and you're just going to have Gardner Minshew offense. But there's definitely going to be some good. There's definitely going to be some like good preseason football, I think, with the Raiders, which I think is going to be kind of fun. Like, we're gonna see. It's not going to be like Sean McVay's Rams,
Yeah, we can actually see some starters, right? I know Devontae's not out, because has he had his baby yet?
Yeah, that's interesting, right? That was like a week ago, right?
Yeah, he hasn't had that baby yet, man.
Oh,
he's just not going to come, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, well, Glen Rockney was a week past due date too, so there, he might be giving birth to a winner. They take time.
Maybe, man. Just they take time. It's right. Gotta let it marinate a little longer in there. You know what I mean? Spin around. You know what I'm saying?
So I said the baby's holding out, and Brandon Ayuk baby. Yeah.
It's for real, man. Like, I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, he has been gone a long time for that baby. I mean,
it is
like,
That does
like,
not
hey.
help the trade rumor thing. I know everybody wants him. That Netflix receiver show, as much as I enjoyed watching it, I'm like, God, now everybody just does Devontae Adams trade machine because of a Jimmy Garoppolo thing from almost a year ago,
No, that trade machine, like he came up in the Brandon Ayuk stuff, right? Oh, it's a 3-way trade, right? Like, is this the NBA? What is
Also,
this?
I hate to break it. I know there's gonna be questions tonight. I hope to end all of them here because Brandon Ayuk turned down the Patriots deal and the Browns deal because he doesn't like their quarterbacks. Now, Brandon Ayuk wants something that doesn't exist right now. He wants a really good quarterback and the money to pay him 30 plus a year and a good system where it's like most of the time you got to take a pay cut to go to that team. And maybe he would. But if he didn't like the Patriots quarterback situation, he's not going to like the Raiders quarterback situation. I mean, straight up. If that's what he's searching for, if he wants to be the number one, because I feel like that's also a thing with him in San Francisco is he's kind of part of the offense. With Debo, Kittle, spread it around, McCaffrey. I think he wants his targets to go up. And even with the Raiders, I don't even know if that would happen. I don't even think he wouldn't even be the high volume guy with the Raiders. I think it would be similar situation to the Niners where he'd be a big play guy. But I just don't think I don't know why he's trying to leave there. It just doesn't make sense other than maybe he wants more targets. But again, you're not going to find the 30 mil a year, great quarterback, great coach, contending team. It's just that doesn't really exist. If you turn the Browns down, which I actually thought that was a pretty good situation for him, where they're going to send Amari Cooper and like a second and a fifth or something. It was like crazy. It was like a weird pick swap that I don't know about, but I'm not super into having Ayuk on the Raiders. It's not because I don't like him as a player. That is not the big move they need to make right now.
Because the thing with Ayuk, I'm gonna say this, man. With Ayuk, I wonder how much of he is a Shanahan. I know people. My boy Derek from the Steelers, he wants Ayuk really bad, and he had a career year last year. But that game against the Chiefs were like, we're gonna bump you guys, and we have Trent McDuffie who could come inside, and if you guys move inside or move him around, we could still have a guy who could press him. So yeah, I think he's better against press than he was last year, but I still think that he's just not that. I wouldn't say he's like a dominant X as people say. So that's why I would be a little hesitant because I don't know if Luke Getsy can move him around and use him. And I swear every game I watch of Brock Purdy, this dude's getting one-on-one with some safety and he's just killing the dude. And it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, that's Shanahan though. That's Shanahan attacking the safety with Brandon Ayuk, giving him easy releases and open releases.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, Cleveland gave them Amari Cooper. I know that Shanahan was like, exactly.
I was about to say, because that's, to me, if I'm Shanahan, I'd be like, you'd want, I know Ayuk squashed it, which it's okay. Yeah, he didn't want to accept the long-term money there. I don't really want to throw the hat in the ring there. I know his agent was at the camp, but as you pointed out, he's also Mumford's agent, which is that's also interesting if that's the case. If his agent's just at camp like that, maybe he's just there. Who knows? But that's also interesting. Where what's Mumford's situation? But I see a lot of Ayuk talk, but I don't think that's what the Raiders need right now.
Yeah, man. They don't need that. This is real. I appreciate this comment though, my man Dutch Master. So I've been putting out Fire's content because I've been putting out ALPA. Hope you guys watch that. My quarterback countdown.
Sure.
I already saw a dude say that my dude Big STD, he didn't like my Baker Mayfield ranking. Chris didn't either, but that's fine. That's fine, guys.
What did you were high or low on him?
I had him at 21. People didn't like that. I was low on it. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, man. I'm sorry. All right, but let's get to our show today. Let's get to the show. What we're talking about today. Which QB starts, because that hasn't been announced yet, which I think is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it might get announced like while we're doing this, right?
And what does it mean to start, too? That's what I wonder. Does that mean...
That has to mean something, right?
In the preseason, I don't know. Does that mean I want to see you with these ones because you don't have the job and I want you to go win it right now? Or does that mean you have the job?
I don't know, man.
That's what I wonder.
We'll get into that in just a second. DJ Glaze versus Thayer Munford because it's a battle. That's the secret battle that we learned. We're going to talk about Jack Jones. How good is Jack Jones, right? And then we're going to start our first little gambling a little bit. I hope you guys aren't gambling on preseason. If you do, call 1-800-GAMBLING. Over under receiving yards. And who are we watching, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not judging you for gambling on preseason. I'm just saying, let's wait till September, guys. We'll get you guys ready for that. So who starts, man? Now, this is when it gets tricky. Vinny Bossignor, I think I said his name correctly for the first time. I've been practicing.
Mm-hmm.
He has a hunch that it's Aiden O'Connell starting on Saturday. Now, that's interesting to me, in my opinion. But, like, one, does that matter? You had a good point. Does that even matter? Two, like, how long do they play? And how long do these guys go on? Because then when the second quarterback comes in, is he playing with twos? Because he might be playing against twos on the other side, right? Mm-hmm. So that's when it gets tricky with the quarterback battles. Quarterback battles were a whole lot easier in 2017 before Jordan Nelson got hurt, because Jordan Nelson getting hurt changed all preseason football.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that Aaron Rodgers, it was funny. He's on a podcast talking about, we don't even play in the preseason anymore. And I was thinking, like, bro, that is your fault. I don't know why you're gaslighting football fans right now. But he, since that's happened, it's hard for the quarterback competitions to really flourish, because who is like playing against other ones, right? So like it's that's when it gets tricky for me with these quarterback competitions, because it's not the same as it used to be. There's no third like preseason game, like because like if there was 4 preseason games, we'd get to the third one, and whoever started that one, that's when we would know. Like, okay,
the dress rehearsal,
we would know who that is, because like it's the second game of dress rehearsal. It just gets tricky, you know what I mean? So like when it gets tricky like that, we don't know who exactly the dress rehearsal is. So, sorry, you don't know exactly who the quarterback is and who they're playing with. So it isn't kind of important who plays with the ones. But I don't know. We'll see. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, because I think if Aiden's out there, I think they're giving him another shot to win the job. Because I do still think they're kind of like, you need to take this job. Like, if you're worth the shit for this team, like if you're worth keeping around in our future plans, whether that's backup down the road as we try to find the answer, or even like, are you going to be that guy? Like, you have an opportunity, you have weapons out here. Yes, it's a new offense, but it's a new offense for the guy you are competing against as well. So
yeah,
if he's starting, like, to me, if Minshew's starting, I will be a little weirded out. I'll be like, wait, so was that hype even real if he's out there starting? Because I think that's like the kind of like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire spotlights on you, like, all right, go win it, kind of situation when you're starting that. But it is tough, because I think Antonio Pierce is super old school. He's got Tom Coughlin in his ear. He's got guys like that, and I've heard him just on like podcasts. He's all about like reps and reps and reps and reps. He goes, I'll take the lumps that come with it. They don't really have the quarterback on the roster right now to protect. Obviously, they were letting him get hit in scrimmages, so that goes to show you like you could say all that well about your mentality, but if CJ Stroud is the quarterback of this team, he's not getting hit. I don't, even if Pierce is the coach. So it was definitely a statement. Now, what do you do? What do you do when who is he going to play? He's going to play Brock Bauer. He's going to play Michael Mayer. He's going to play, like, these guys are going to play a little bit. I don't think we're going to know. I don't think we're going to know. Like the roster at all. Like, I think you might see some back end guys, like some guys at the end of the game that ball out and be like, oh, okay. Like, because I think that's going to hold weight. I think Antonio Pierce seems to value these games a lot. Mm-hmm. But who plays? I don't. It's not like McDaniels. Remember when Josh Jacobs was playing like meaningful preseason football? Josh McDaniels. He was the only one. It was the only one.
The Hall of Fame game, though, but that was disrespectful.
It was crazy. I mean, it was crazy. I don't know if we're going to be able to take anything from what we see from Antonio Pierce's rotations. I think he's going to try to just get reps and reps and reps. If guys get injured, he's like, whatever, that's football. I think that's just the way he views it.
Yeah, man. That's the thing with preseason, man. It's gonna be mixing it up and seeing who these guys play with. Like, because what if Minshew goes down the field and scores a touchdown? Do you take him out? Like, or Aiden O'Connell? Do you take him out and then you see what Minshew does next drive? Like, you got to figure out how to mix that up, man. Because if you don't, then you're going to be in that spot where everything's working how you really want it to work. So yeah, they gotta figure out what they want to do. But it is super interesting. I mean, it's Friday night. I mean, they're gonna tell us who starts like right before the game. Like the Vikings on the other side, they said Sam Darnold starting, right? And maybe it's very Patriots like. They're trying to. Maybe Pierce got a little thing from Michael Daniels of trying to get an advantage. I don't know what he's doing. Like, you by now we should know, right? I really hope by the end of the show that we get an idea. So
drop it in the comments if you see it, but don't fall for any fake stuff, guys, because you will be judged on that.
You will be judged.
You will be judged swiftly. But I'm surprised we haven't heard it because the media is just speculating, and I get it. What does Antonio Pierce care about it? I saw Raider Barry said it's a good point. Antonio Pierce being a UDFA linebacker who had a nice career in the league, I can see why he would value preseason games a lot more than maybe your average coach. That's how he made rosters. And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'll look at the defense. I have a feeling his defense will be a little bit more the way he views the depth chart, right? I could see, is Robert Spillane going to play a lot of preseason football? I don't think he should. He should get in there. Let him get a series, let him get a series here and there, get some calls. I'm fine with that. But the defense, I expect to see like Tommy Eichenberg playing a lot, like the guys who are clearly going to make this team, but just kind of let them go out there and get those reps. But with the offense, I think with the offense, he's like, show me something with the whole team.
Yeah. That's what I think. Like, I think we're going to see Jacoby Myers out there for a little bit. Probably some of the linemen, especially since, Jack Powers Johnson's out, which is still a little concerning. But
yes, it is.
Yeah, but yeah, because so I mean, let me ask you this: Who do you think gets it? If you had to pick, who do you think?
The quarterback?
Yeah, who do you think?
Oh gosh, I think week one's going to be Gardner Minshew. Now,
okay.
I do. I'm sad about it. I am, like, not because I hate him, not because I don't think he has a chance to beat the Chargers week one. In fact, I think he probably has a pretty decent chance of beating the Chargers week one.
Yeah.
But I'm just sad that O'Connell couldn't go out there and grab it. And I can't imagine Gardner Minshew is going to have a bad preseason. Like I'm talking bad. I think he's probably going to cook. Like, to be honest, if we're like, it's going to look good and people are going to be like, watch out for the Raiders. I can actually see that happening. Even if O'Connell has a good one, Minshew effectively has to have a bad preseason game, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
To shift it back to O'Connell.
The thing is that they both play shitty, man. Twitter is going to be unbearable if they both play shitty. I know that a little bit. Those aggregators. Kleiman, he's gonna be. Look at this is the Raiders, and they made a Kermit. You know what I mean? And Kermit's gonna come up. So I hope they play well.
I'd rather see Kermit the Frog playing quarterback, the doll,
yeah,
with a mind.
And these guys made Mahomes jokes
with 4 crying emojis next to it. That's what's gonna happen. No, and you know what? There's truth to it to an extent, but also it's like, look. I'm fine this year. I'm on record saying I'm fine with them not risking it all for a quarterback. I didn't see a viable avenue. It didn't seem like the trade up opportunities were there. Even the Penix and Bo Nix situation, I got to see that play out a little bit. I can't imagine all 6 of those quarterbacks are going to be good, like career wise. It's just that doesn't happen. So I'm fine with not reaching there. They lost out a little bit. They lost out on it, and they didn't panic. They still have cap space that can roll over to next year. Telesco talked about next year. I have a feeling they're going to try to make a move for a veteran next year, the way he was talking, because why do you just have $34 million sitting around? They want some of that to roll over. Yes, for extensions, but also Telesco's not going to want to sit around with just some Gardner Minshew quarterback next year. He's been fired once. You don't want to get fired twice.
Yeah, they're going to they'll go big, especially if the Raiders finish 8-9 or anything like that. The only way I feel like they would go full on draft is if they went like 6-11, 5.
Yeah, bomb out. Like Max Crosby's hurt, Devontae's hurt. Like they're just not good. Bunch of injuries. They lose a bunch of 1-score games on some bad offensive, just bad offensive performances, like Jets level. like Jets level
Yeah.
bad offense, which is in play. I'm not gonna lie, that's in play. That can happen this year. That's when they go to the draft. But overall, if they're like 8-9 wins, couple bad losses kept them away from really competing. They'll want to go the veteran route, and I don't think that's a bad idea. Even like I really don't think. I think a really good, competent starter on this team does really well with the weapons that are there.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get to some of these questions here. So I knew I was going to get this. What's your take on Joe Milton and the game he had last night? He's also asking if we should trade for him.
He's
I
not
mean,
for
I don't
sale.
think the Patriots aren't giving him up. You got to think about it like this. I mean, what if Drake May don't work out? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's RG3 and Kirk Cousins. That's their insurance plan back in the day when RG3 got drafted, second overall, just like Drake May. Was Drake May second overall?
Third overall.
Third overall. Okay, so around the same time, and then later in the draft they take Kirk Cousins, which was kind of the opposite, right? RG3 was kind of the boomer bust player, like moving around the field, running around, and then Kirk Cousins was just the pocket passer system, kind of like run your system guy. But yeah, I was a fan of Milton. I was a fan of doing it. But let's go see Joe Milton win some games before you want to go trade for the guy. I mean, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you trading for? I mean, he has a big arm and he can move around, but let's go see him win games. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I mean, Jacoby Brissett is still on the Patriots, and he would probably start if Drake May's not ready. I mean, I don't think they're going to start Joe Milton. I really don't. So no, I don't think that's the way to do it. I think they're going to have to just roll with what they have at quarterback all year and just play it as it lays.
Yeah, you got a point. I like Milton though. I liked him coming out because one thing I always talk about pocket presence, and you saw that all last night.
He's got a cannon too. He's got an absolute cannon. Like, I mean, it's worth on day 3 that you take one of those guys every year. I feel like,
yeah,
you try it out. I wish they did. I mean, to be fair, I like the Raiders day 3 though. I like the players they got too. So, like we're going to talk about some guys later who we're looking for. There's a bunch of those guys that I'm really excited to go watch those guys play. So, they might have a really good draft class on their hands this year too, which I don't think anybody's really talking about because they're so quarterback focused because that's all NFL media is just quarterbacks.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. What else? I see I saw another question here. Ryan Tannehill. So Ryan Tannehill.
No.
That is a big talk. I saw it's not the athletic podcast anymore, but I saw those athletic guys. That was a discussion they had, but I guess he's like doing like spear fishing right now. That's what he's doing. He's doing spear diving fishing. He's chilling. He ain't trying to play football.
And just what is he at this point? What is Ryan? I mean, 5 years ago. If it was 5 years ago, Ryan Tannehill, 100%.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, even back then, he's a play action guy. I mean, he was a play action hit AJ Brown on a wide open dig because I got Derrick Henry, other linebacker, sucked up off play action, so I had a wide open AJ Brown on a dig.
Yeah,
he run 70 yards.
He had a nice career, man. He had a nice career in the NFL. It led 2 teams to number 1 seeds in the AFC. It didn't work out. He ran into a Mahomes problem, but it's over. It's done for him.
Yeah, I think Dylan Lowry was his throat sing. I did see that. That was kind of weird. But what vet are you talking about? Like 2024, 2025? I mean, what vet?
Well, let's just answer it that way. Either way, I mean, because we kind of just basically said they're screwed in terms of 2024 additions, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. So 2025. I mean, there's Dak and there's Stafford.
Well, I have to just say it to manifest it, of course. But Josh Allen,
Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, every episode I have to say it. Dude, the other day, who did I see? I saw somebody tagged me. If you're in here, shout out who it was. Tagged me. Some Bills receivers dropping balls in camp. Allen snapping his helmet off. I'm like, oh man,
It's starting. That would be the ultimate trade, bro. Tom Telesco would have to get his
Does he
jersey
not fit this?
retired.
You think AP would be so into it too? Do a big ass like rocket arm quarterback. Thank you, Raiders Rumble. Thank you. Yes, I remember it was somebody that was in these streams, like obviously because that's the only place I say it. But yeah, it's just thank you, Raiders Rumble. We're just look. It's a slow. We got a year of football for this meltdown to happen. But realistically, I don't hate going after Dak. This market has to settle a little bit on quarterbacks. Like, and I think Dak being, I think he's about my age, right? What is he, 32, 33, around there?
Yeah.
He's got to be there around that point. Like, I don't know that he's Kirk Cousins worthy. Maybe he is. Maybe he's going to get Kirk Cousins money. But you have to understand, if you're the Raiders and you have your defense the way you want it, and you have, we'll see what happens with Devontae after this year. But if you have Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, and maybe, like I said, maybe Devontae Adams, Dak Prescott will have you in the conversation every year, if that's the case. And if you draft one, I'm fine with that too. If they're in the middle of the draft this year, I think the quarterbacks are going to slide a bit this year. If they want to do that, that's fine. But I'm fine with a veteran like a Dak. And there's always one quarterback, like that's why I half jokingly say the Josh Allen thing, half jokingly. There's always one quarterback that just wants out every single year. That happens. And it could be him. It could be somebody else. And I think the Raiders, with what they have right now, they are a team that could just straight up trade the farm for somebody, and I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, if I had to choose between Dak and Stafford, I'm going Stafford.
I don't hate it, but his back is like a Triscuit cracker right now, dude. Like
because to me, all right. So here we go. Because he's cheaper.
He's better. He's a way better player. I agree with you. Yeah,
and he's better, and you can still draft somebody, and I think he'd still be cool with it because he's older. And then he'll get to play with Devontae Adams. That's why, and you can maybe get that 1 or 2 years left. Like Dak is an investment. Like Dak is like a 4-year, 5.
I wish we had John. I wish we had John Gruden and Stafford. Like I wish, that would be like John Gruden and Stafford was something I always wanted to see. Like he would have just that would have been so tight. But I agree with you. With this Getsy offense, provided that he sticks around a year, provided that the team thinks, okay, we have a quarterback issue. We can't blame Luke Getsy for this. Like we understand we didn't do that. Stafford has that arm for the Getsy offense to go down the field. And if spacing is an issue, you got the arm to fit it in there, and I do agree. I do agree with you that like I would probably go Stafford on like a 2-year deal there. And it could be, and like you could like load that up. If you want to spend a bunch of money for like a 2-year quarterback, I'm fine with that. Whereas Dak is probably a 4-year deal. One last big thing. No, I don't hate that at all, actually. We'll see. I mean, I could also see McVay never really actually letting him leave unless he retires.
Yeah,
and they retire or they retire together, or not retire together, but McVay retires, goes to the booth, Stafford comes over. But I feel bad. Like we're talking about all this, like, and it's like we have a season ahead of us, Like
exactly.
I feel bad. Like I still feel like they could. Maybe it's not the disaster we think it's going to be at the position. Like maybe it's not. Maybe it is, but maybe it's not.
I'm sorry, this is funny. How about Bryce Young after they win 2 games and fire everybody?
Man, I'm firing myself at that point.
I mean, if they win 2 games again, I mean,
you have the number one. You have the number 1 overall pick. You're not getting Bryce Young. You're gonna go try to find another guy. Like, I mean, it might not be. Yeah, you might trade down, perhaps with Carolina, and maybe they give you Bryce Young, and you trade down, and they give you like a few first-round picks and Bryce Young. Yeah, maybe I listen to that because maybe the quarterback this year is not the number 1 overall pick worthy. But yeah, if we win 2 games this year, I don't want it to be that bad. I know you kind of have to be sometimes, but I'm just, man. The Ravens never had to be that bad to build a good team.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of teams that never actually have to be the Chiefs. They never have to be that bad to build a team. Like there's a lot of teams. There's only a few teams that actually are that bad that build a team. Like we'll see with the Texans, but yeah, they look like they're on that. They look like they're on that trajectory to be the bad team that bounced out of it with a quarterback. But a lot of teams, even Cincinnati, they had like 2 bad years and then it was Burrow and then back, but they were a contending team before that. It's.
I mean, Kyler's kind of crazy, man. I don't know. That they would let him go. They wouldn't let him go. So I wouldn't even have to. I don't want to think about that. But I would go Kyler. I would like Kyler. But
I would. I don't love the guy, but it would be interesting. I could see a scenario where, okay, year 2 with the Cardinals, we got this young team, and Kyler just doesn't have a good year. Yeah, I could see that. But if somebody's asking about Cam Ward, that's somebody I'm going to keep an eye on this year. I'd like to see more. I'm not as high on him right now, but a good senior season from Cam Ward in Miami, and I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's get to our second topic here, which is DJ Glaze. We talk about draft picks here. We talk about Tom Telesco and draft picks. He's had tackle issues besides Rashawn. Well, no, actually, he's been great at drafting tackles. It was guards where he was been awful.
Yeah,
he's been great at drafting tackles, and now he's drafted another tackle who is starting to take Thayer Munford's spot, mainly because he blocked Max Crosby for a practice. I guess that must have just wowed Antonio Pierce. Pierce just must have been amazed by that. Like, oh my God, this rookie's blocking Max Crosby. We got to give him some more reps. Because Munford came back like the next day. And like Munford, I think he even came back the same practice. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like Munford like missed a practice or missed anything like that. It was just DJ Glaze just kind of just took his place, kind of. And now they're fighting for a spot. So, I mean, to me, that's a great thing, in my opinion. And I wonder who, I think Munford probably would get the start, but he's been getting his ass kicked by Max Crosby all of camp. So they probably saw DJ Glaze handle Crosby a little bit better. And they're probably like, okay, if this guy can't handle the best pass rushers in NFL, and you think about the first few games, the Ravens don't have a pass rush, but they have a good defense coordinator. They got a good system. But he still got Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa coming. Mm-hmm. If you're not ready for Khalil Mack, he still will lift you off the ground. He still can do that. We obviously got 6 sacks that one day. You know what I mean? It's still there.
Oh yeah.
And then they got like Myles Garrett coming. You know what I mean? In a couple weeks. And I don't know who the other dude is, but I think Zarius Smith might be hurt. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if Mumford's not ready to go, even though he's the better run blocker, in my opinion, it's going to be tough to see how that goes. But I think DJ Glaze just taking that chance and getting better there, it works out a lot. In my opinion.
I'd like to see him have a nice preseason game tomorrow. I want to watch it. I want to watch him. I know you're going to be watching. I'm sure that's going to be a good film thing for you to break down. Would be DJ Glaze's reps against the Vikings, provided that they play maybe some competent pass rushers. I don't know what they're going to be doing as far as starters playing, but with Glaze, that's the surprise of camp for me. That was just the pick I just didn't like, and
mm-hmm.
We'll see what he ends up becoming. But if he was that, if he stood out that much in camp, there's got to be something there that this team really likes. I still think Mumford's going to take the first snap of the regular season. I think they're going to want that. But if Glaze is out there just dominating in preseason, especially in pass blocking, like really just in pass blocking, like holding it down and all that, you have to make the move at that point, because Mumford has not won anything. Like Mumford has been. They didn't necessarily go get a tackle, but they also drafted Glaze in the 3rd round. So that is your competition. Are you beating that competition in DJ Glaze? We can only, yes, he blocked Max Crosby a few times, but it was the next day Max Crosby had his way with DJ Glaze. That's nothing against him, but maybe that was just a couple really nice reps that the media noticed maybe the coaches getting fired up about. So this preseason game, if Glaze goes out there and shuts it down, a conversation is to be had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm watching him for sure. Because if he goes up there and he has a damn good game, man, then you got to think about it.
Dallas Turner, right? In the comments, Isaiah says Dallas Turner is going to be probably getting some reps, and that'll be interesting. Dallas Turner's second rusher taken in the draft, maybe even the first. No, second, because Latu went first. Turner, the second edge rusher taken in the draft. And if you're out there and you're playing well against him, all right, you got to take a look. I wouldn't feel super in love with the fact of him making his debut week 1 when we, with already a banged up offensive line. that I wouldn't really be super excited about. But hey, I mean, if this guy ends up being a gem, then let's see him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when you're his size and you're that long,
Yeah,
you can
it can work. Yeah.
really make it what happened to me. Basically, I saw somebody call him Brandon Parker one time, like say he was like Brandon Parker. But good.
Well, Parker's going on. I said
Yeah.
this last time. He's going on his like what 8th year in the league right now. So as bad as he was, I mean, yes, the Raiders missed on Fred Warner. Yes, in the 3rd round and drafted Brandon Parker, but he's going. He's not out of the league as we all thought he would be because he's a big, athletic, long-armed guy that can kind of play on either side. I mean, that's debatable when you whatever play means, but he can kind of do both and be like a swing tackle. So with Glaze, it's like, hey, I wouldn't love the fact that we might have Andrus Pete and him at week 1 as their tackles. Wouldn't be very exciting to me, provided that hopefully Colton Miller's back. But I mean, it's exciting that he's not like this long project, apparently.
Yeah. Because dude, if he can end up being like a day one starter and actually be serviceable, that's pretty damn good. Because the thing is with me and right tackles is that we don't have Tua. He's not a left-handed quarterback. His blind side is not the right side, right? To be a quarterback, when you get pressure from the right side, that's when you're easier to avoid it. You can't see it. I mean, that's why they call it the blind side, because a lot of times, unless you're, Tom Brady or like the super pocket presence guy, you're not going to feel it all the time. And even Brady, he's got popped from the back before too. You know what I mean? But from the right side, usually a good quarterback or even a halfway decent quarterback, you can see it coming, because that's where you're facing and you hold the ball. So right tackle, you can get away with it a little bit, especially if it's a good guy that can just push somebody around the line and all the quarterback has to do is just step up a little bit. You can get away with it. Especially when you got Colton Miller on the other side, right? Kind of holding it down.
Yeah.
If he can, the right tackle main thing is to run block. And I know in today's game, you definitely have to have that pass blocking ability, but I still think the quarterback can avoid it a little bit better. He can get rid of the ball. He can see it. It's just easier for him to see from that side. So he doesn't have to be the greatest pass blocker in the world, right? And as long as he can run block, you can get away with it a little bit. Because even when we think about the best right tackles of football, I mean, of course, it's like Lane Johnson, maybe but after that, you get to like Brian O'Neill, who can be beat, and those type of guys, like for the Vikings, and those type of guys that are there, and then or the Ryan Ramsacks, but he's hurt already, so and he might even play in left. I might be wrong about that, but yeah, those type of guys you don't see on the right tackles are just these amazing pass blockers all the time. It's still kind of they want you to be a pass blocker now more often because of the way the league is going, but it's not as much what I would say a need for you to be a pass blocker like the left tackle is, right? And they still don't get paid as much as the left tackle. So so if he can run block, which I think was my issue a little bit with him coming out, was run blocking. If he can run block, then they're fine. I think they'll get it done. But he has a
chance. If he has a lights out 3 games, it's a conversation.
Yeah,
it's a conversation because Mumford's probably going to play a little too, right? Wouldn't you say? I mean, don't you think they're going to play a lot of these guys? Like Mumford's going to play too, so you will have like a comparison to make. Like, be like, okay, Mumford just doesn't look good, and I hope they both look good. To be honest, I hope they both look really good, and there's maybe a chance that Glaze can develop, because even if Glaze is like ready to quote unquote start, week 1 could still be really scary because it's your NFL debut, and we saw Colton Miller in his first year get his ass kicked. It's just it's a tough position to be a rookie at.
Yeah, for sure, dog. Yeah. All right, let's get some of these questions here before we throw the next topic. Let's start here. Oh, this is an interesting question. Tell me how you how'd you get into football analysis? Give us some background information on you guys, and ask Matt next episode. Well, me, I did a scouting academy, and that's really what I did. You know what? To be honest, I don't know if you guys remember Sion Fahey. You guys remember Sion Fahey? Anybody remember him? He was on ESPN, Dan Libertard show. He was terrible. And he was like a film guy, and I saw him, and I always love football and doing X's and O's and stuff. Like I used to watch NFL Playbook, like Brian Baldinger and Shannon Sharp. Not Shannon Sharp, Sterling Sharp. And he was getting big, and I was like, I can do that. And that's really why I started to get into it. Because I'm like, if he can do this and people think he's good, then I can do this. So shout out to Sam Fahey for being so terrible and getting me into this. Because that's really how I got into football analysis. Because he was so awful. He was like on Dan Le Batard and on ESPN at one point. But then he inappropriately like talked to a girl or something like that. And he got fired. So he was downhill from there. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the rest is history, right?
That's history, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I've always growing up, my sport was baseball, and I'm the only child, and so my mom used to just leave me home during the summer, and so she bought me like a Topps complete set baseball card for like the 2001, just complete like I think it was a complete set of every baseball player, and I would just learn every player, where they were from, their stats and everything. I would just get so excited and I'd follow it. And I just loved sports. My dad is still just, I mean, every day him and I talk about some sports related thing. And then right around, I've always been a football fan, but like right around, I would say the Russell years, which is a weird time to like truly, I started getting into like the draft and things like that, and like the back ends of rosters and stuff. And being a Raider fan, I was just, you wasn't always fun, but it was always fun to have like a Chaz Schillens to go for. And I just thought it was fun. I just think it's fun to talk about. It's kind of I definitely will never be a film guy. It's just not going to be my thing. I definitely appreciate the people that do it. But I just love talking about it. It's just really fun. It's just fun. I love the community around it. I think sports are the last objective form of entertainment where even if there's politics involved in it, media stuff, there's a final score, whereas everything else in life is left up to interpretation. So I always, or just, any sort of other thing, it's like this team won, this team lost. And I've always been fascinated in that and why that happened. So, that's me, sure. I guess. Nothing crazy, but yeah, no scouting academy for me. No thanks. Yeah.
Let's see. We won 8 games last year with a coaching change. Will we be better? What do you mean with a coaching change? Then we have the same coach, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I expect him to win. Like, I expect him to be competitive at the end of the year. So
sure.
No matter who the quarterback is, I expect him to be in the playoff race. That's my expectation.
I think there's gonna be like it's gonna suck too, because there's gonna be like 10 to 12 plays I think that can dictate whether they win 3 to 4 games that makes a good season or a bad season, right? Which happens for a lot of teams, but I think this team especially, where it's just gonna be like, did you get lucky that game? Did you make the play? Were you able to get, were you able to do that? And that's the when they don't have that quarterback, that is kind of the situation you're in, where it's just going to be like, they could be 6-11, or they could be 10-7, and it could come down to just a couple drives for that record. I think they're going to be that team this year. You could either be the Jets, or you could either be like a Steelers team, like a Steelers team that always finds a way to sneak in. Now, are they a threat in the playoffs? Here and there, probably not most of the time. I still think they have some work to do to become more explosive, but that remains to be seen. They might just run the ball down teams' throats and shock all of us too, and do that. I'm happy with the unknown, and I like the culture that they're building, and I think they're on the right track. And I think Raider fans want it to be good this year, and it might be, but if it's not, I still think they're going in the right direction.
All right. What you on there? What else we got here? The Jets suck. Do you take Rodgers? If the Jets suck, then I don't want Rodgers.
No, that's what I mean. What happened? Did he get hurt again? Oh, so either he got hurt again or he was bad, if that happened.
Exactly, because they have a nuts defense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I low-key feel like the media's been trolling him so much that they're going to have to feel him being an MVP type of dude.
Right.
And they have to like act like they don't want him to be. I kind of feel like that's going to happen with him.
Yeah.
He's still damn Aaron Rodgers. Can Pete hold down left guard? He can play left guard a little bit, I believe. But you would rather him play tackle. Any chance they wrote? Please, God, no. That is some Patriot shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm hoping
fuck
that
that.
neither.
Fuck
Just
that,
just
man.
let guys play where they already seem to be putting Parham on the side he should be on. So I would hope not in terms of
Yeah.
fantasy.
Has Glaze got any looks at guard? I don't think so. No.
I haven't heard as much. I think they do see him as a right tackle, and the fact that that's actually a good point to what we were talking about earlier. If he hasn't been getting the looks at guard, that makes it sound like more of a competition at right tackle, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It would make him more of a competition at right tackle. What else got here? It said, should any tackle be able to move the guard? It's like, no. I'll say that. No. That is a hard transition. A lot of people say it's easy, but it's hard. Even though I feel bad for Alex Leatherwood because he had like a halfway decent season at guard and nobody's put him back there because he's the
Yeah.
swing tackle for the Chargers this year. And double digit wins. I mean, if the defense can get it done, man, they can get double digit wins. But
Yes, it's going. I'm telling you, it's going to be a couple plays. Like a dropped interception might change a game. Like or you pick it off and take it to the house. That's the style of team they have right now, and that's the way the league is with penalties and all that stuff. Like you gotta score touchdowns on defense. They're gonna have to run the football, and they're gonna have to hit a couple big plays, yards after the catch, which I do think they've done well in getting that on the roster with young talented people like Bowers and stuff like that. But yeah, I could see a double digit win team. I would I bet on it? Probably not, but I see it. It's there. It's there. Just a lot more has to go right.
yeah, a lot more does have to go right for that to happen. But it'll be all on the defense and if the quarterbacks. Because I saw a question about can they have a top 10 run game, which I'll get to the other question and then we get to the next topic. But that's what it would depend on to me.
Yeah.
If they get 10 wins,
yeah. Like the
right.
Jets and the Browns were effectively the same team last year, in my opinion. Yes, Flacco
Mhm.
came in and played pretty well, but like they had big plays. One team made the plays and one team didn't. And
Yeah.
that's the model I think the Raiders are gonna have to go on right now. Is do you want to be the Jets last year or the Browns? Right now, I know they both had starters that were quote unquote better than what the Raiders have right now, but those guys went down, and it really just came down to a couple of games. Like the Jets had a chance to beat the Raiders, and they didn't. Like it was there
Mhm.
were a couple plays, and we like to pretend that it's such a bigger process. It's like, no, it's just a couple plays that need to be made.
Exactly. Yeah, just a couple plays that need to be made, and that can change the whole season, in my opinion. All right, let's do this last question. Which other Raider content creators you guys respect? That's a good question. I'll start with you, Glenn.
Are you struggling to come up with answers or what? I don't know if you can call him a content creator. He certainly has a YouTube channel, so I guess you can, but he's more of a radio guy. I like Q, man. Your boy Q. I'm a big fan of the Locked On Raiders podcast. He runs a tight ship there. It's 30 minutes, just crushing it. And I think he asks really good questions at the media sessions. He borders the line of fan, and then also like kind of, he's not a homer, but he's also not a hater. He has I think he's really good.
I mean, to me, honestly, I mean, shout out to the Black Team podcast. I mess with them. Raiders Rundown, I mess with them, and then also who else? Ryan Home and Dwayne, I mess with them. So yeah,
Yes, those guys are good.
I do mess with some content creators. So but a lot of them don't show me love. So
That's the thing, man. I mean,
yeah, a lot of them hate on me. I don't know why, but you know. I mean, I gotta think about why. Well, yeah, Mo. Oh, yeah, Mo and
Mo's
Silverback
good.
Pride. My boy
Mo's good.
LV Gully. Yeah, sorry about that. My bad. Shout out Mo, Moton, LV Gully. Those are my dudes. That was a great guy. I met him at the combine. Great dude. So yeah, but some people don't mess with me. That's fine. And but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
You
yeah.
know.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into our next topic. Jack Jones.
Dang.
Jack Jones is getting some buzz, right? He's getting some buzz. He's tweeting pictures and rap lyrics. You know what I mean? He said pause because he said get into some Jack Jones. That's fine. Uh, you're Jack Jones. Can he live up to the hype? right? That he's kind of building himself. I mean, he had a lot of interceptions in about 4 games. And if he can make it happen, I think he can have a big season if the pass rush works how it should, right? Pass rush works how it should, then those guys should be able to make some plays and get some picks there. So we'll see how that goes. But I like Jack Jones. I just hope people don't expect him to be like shut down.
Yeah. I'm the same way, because you have like, okay, can he go up against a number 1 receiver and shut them down? I don't know about that yet. Can he go out there and affect the game and make 2 or 3 massive plays that like swing a game? Absolutely. In fact, I expect him to. Now, what I loved about the what happened with Jack Jones, who was one of the most Raider things of all time, this is old school Al Davis, is he gets cut from the Patriots. The Raiders fire a Patriots coach. They bring him in because Antonio Pierce knows him better than probably any coach in the NFL. Brings him in, and then in that Chiefs game, when it started to become kind of a yelling, shoving match, Antonio Pierce rings him in. Now that's going to happen a lot this year. That's just the way Jack Jones is, and a lot of the coaches say we don't ask guys to be different. Like we want them to play as who they are, and I hope to not get too many 15-yard penalties because of Jack Jones after maybe a good play where they get off the field on 3rd down. I'm a little bit worried about that, but he has the speed to guess on things and score a touchdown. We've seen it. We've seen it happen a couple times already in the limited time he's been on the Raiders. It's just kind of, and he does move different. Like he has like this like ice skater kind of like motion. When you watch like an ice skater, like, or like a hockey player or something, he's just like this motion that's just different than a lot of people. And but like I said, I think we might see him get beat a couple times this year by some real crafty route runners. But we'll see. I mean, he is the number 1 corner on this team, and they haven't signed anybody else.
Yeah, which to me is super interesting.
That's what they think. They think he is like Sauce Gardner and stuff. So it's like that, and maybe he is there. That is, he could be. I just don't see it right now. Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it real. Jacoby Myers was cooking him at
that's crafty. He's a crafty route runner. Yeah.
And he was getting cooked by Jacoby Myers. And my thing is, so that when I was watching that, I was like, okay, then obviously he's not a shutdown guy. But can he make some plays? Well, if a quarterback makes a mistake or a quarterback reads it wrong, is he gonna guess? Is he gonna be able to read it and make some plays? A lot of film study. He's gonna be ready. He's gonna be in the position to take chances. Hell yeah, he's gonna make some plays for the Raiders, and I think that's what the Raiders need, anyways.
Dude.
Because even if he gets beat sometimes, I'm cool with the guy who gets beat that makes plays.
Yeah, and this team's strength in the secondary is on the back end with safeties. There's ways to kind of help him out, let him guess a little more with the safeties over the top. I hope they're able to do that because I want him jumping routes. So I want to do because, man, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to hate on Trevon Merrick, but his rookie season, man, dropping that pick against Washington, then they could have won that game. And it's like, look, it's a hell of a play, and it's tough to intercept the ball. It's a lot tougher to intercept the ball than to catch a ball on offense. It is a tougher thing to do, but it's like you have to do it. You have to do it. Jalen Ramsey last year makes that play against the Raiders where he lays out on the interception. And yes, the throw was a little behind him, but if he doesn't catch that ball, maybe the Raiders have a big play that next play. And that always seemed to happen to the Raiders in the past.
Yeah, because it's funny. Trevon Murray could have won defensive player of the year, defensive rookie of the year that year if he got his interceptions.
That's what I mean. And
that's a pick six, bro. That's a pick six for the win. If
some guys can catch the ball and some guys can't, and I think Jack Jones can catch the ball. So everybody's saying I'm bringing up old memories. I'm using this as a term to say I think Jack Jones makes the plays. And I think he can not single-handedly, but be the deciding factor in a couple of games this year where they win with maybe not the best offense. They already did it against Kansas City. That his touchdown was a deciding factor in that game.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, if you're giving up big plays, turnovers make up for it. Because you see Trayvon Diggs, get beat, but and Deron Bland, they get beat, but Deron Bland had 5 defensive touchdowns. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So if you have 5 defensive touchdowns, I am cool with that. I'm not going to be
Exactly.
mad at you. Like, what am I going to say? Like, oh, you gave up 700 yards. Dog, you had 5 defensive touchdowns. That means that is literally 20. What is that? I can't even do. That's what 6 times 5. That's 30 points.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what you need. Now it is strange. This corner room is intriguing to me. Besides that, and then the preseason, I want to see some of these young guys go out there and play it. But it's like they clearly think Jack Jones is the guy because they have money to go get somebody and they don't. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. I could see Jack Jones being the Draymond Green of this team. I've said it a few times where Draymond Green was a savant defensively, but could also just play his way out of a game all the time. It was always there. It was always there to get that one thing, and it was tough to kind of bottle up once it unraveled. And I think that's kind of what he is. But then I've also seen a time where Draymond Green just stops a big man and like holds him to like 12 points on like 30% shooting. It happens there. Like I could absolutely see that happening. And I like the comparison to Peters. I do like prime Peters. I like that not Raiders Peters, but combine the early Chiefs years of Marcus Peters. I like that a lot. And I'd be fine with that. I mean, especially a guy you pick up off of the scrap heap last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he tackles better. I see people asking about that question. I'll just answer it out. Jack Jones tackles better than Marcus Peters ever did in his life.
Yeah, he's got a nastiness to him. Yeah, I mean that's what look. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I do have questions with him. Like it is going to be a thing that we all hold our breath on. Like no flags, no flags. Okay, good. Or we're going to be like, get off the field, stop talking to the ref, shut up, stop getting out of that guy's face. Like we're going to be doing that all year. And all right, that's Raider football. Let's do it.
Yeah. Because he said, I took the wrong one. Here we go. My bad. Here we go, Mason. He said, not for nothing. Jack Jones averaged 15 yards per catch in high school, and he was working with the wide receivers this year.
And he moves crazy. I mean, like it is. I wouldn't hate like on that kickoff trying something. I don't know. I know you don't want to get him hurt because that is your number one corner. But I saw that too. I saw him moving. And I'm like, ooh, man. And hopefully he has the vision still, but man, he moves better than a lot of players on this team, even on offense.
Yeah, for sure, dude. All right, let's see what we got. Got any questions here? All right, you talked about against the run. I do like this question. Do you think undrafted free agent from Tennessee needs to ball in the preseason to make the team? I would say yes, because I think DJ Turner is a favorite. Yeah. And so is Wilkerson.
What does Ramel Keaton do on special teams? Is he playing well on special teams in camp?
I don't think so.
That's going to be a thing because DJ Turner is already a good special teams player, and it sounds like he's really coming along as a receiver. I think Jalen Guyton's out of a job, which that's fine. I think we were all kind of hoping that was somebody else was going to emerge over Jalen Guyton. He got hurt, and he's already kind of the guy that you bring in, hoping somebody beats him on the lower end of your roster. But yeah, if Keaton goes out there and has a really nice preseason and can become like this Andre Holmes style big body down the field kind of guy, like, hey, there is an opening. You're right. And the fit, they might carry 5 wide receivers.
Yeah.
So I could see that.
Yeah. I could see that. But, because I think Wilkerson is really slept on. But AP likes Keaton too.
Yeah.
And I did put Keaton in my over-unders because I think he's going to play a lot. So if like Guyton's going to play a lot, I think. And then so is Wilkerson, though, too. And I think Wilkerson might be in line for that 4th spot right now.
He's a blocker, too. He's a blocker. Wilkerson.
He can block. And, and honestly, he runs pretty decent routes. I think he's a little bit underrated. But I think he might have that 4th spot on lock. And then you have to go with DJ Turner. Because, DJ Turner might have that spot on lock, too. So that's what's going to be some interesting part of it. But you're right. We do need some hype. But
I think they want him to, and I think there's absolutely an opening for him on this team. Wilkerson, it's like, well, we'll see, But I think if Keaton goes out there, and I think the original question was, if he balls out in the preseason? Yeah, if he's scoring touchdowns in the preseason, I mean, that's how Wilkerson made the team last year, right?
Yeah,
So, I
Wilkerson
mean,
ball.
if he outplays Wilkerson in the preseason games, I absolutely think so, because they were giving him they were trying to get him up quick to see how good he was, and I think, to me, that means you caught everyone's eye. So do it again when the cameras are on.
Exactly. All right. I don't see any other questions. Somebody asked, "What's Tula's injury?" They haven't. I mean, they don't have to tell us.
No, and that's sad too. It's a real bummer for me, because I actually
Yeah,
thought
because he can run routes, man.
that's a stash guy to me. Like, try to stash him if you can. Like Sincere McCormick last year. Like, try to, you might just say, like, look, you're gonna get NFL checks all year. We'll IR you. You're an undrafted free agent. Camp next year. Be ready. Don't be a dummy this year. Pay attention. And I could see that's a guy I want to keep around for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I don't see any other questions. Let's get to our over-unders here. So let's get to our over-unders. All right, we're just gonna do receiving yards here. All right. So I just stuck to receiving yards. So I did 3 different guys. Let's start with Brock Bowers. Over under 25 yards in his first preseason debut. What do you think?
I think it's under. I think he's only going to play like a series.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think it's under. I mean, hey, even if he plays a series, he might go get a 30-yard catch. But I'm going to say under. I don't think he's going to play that much. I think he's going to play. Definitely going to play. Okay. But he's the way they talk about him, I hope he's not playing all the time. Like, we need to bubble wrap this guy and let him play sparingly.
Okay. I'm going to go over, because I think he is going to play a little bit. I think he's going to play enough. And I think they're going to practice the swing passes. And I think he's going to be really reliable. I think they're going to try to feature him a little bit, because Devontae is not there and he's the rookie. I think they're going to try to find a way to feature him a little bit early on, and him and Michael Mayer, maybe. I don't know. I just got a feeling with that. So I'm going to take the over 25 yards on this one with Bowers. Just because, because even then, you're right. Like, it could be just one play, man. He could go 25, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it only takes one play. I will say it does only take one play.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna get him on like a 9-yard, kind of flat route, and just kind of get him some work. And then I think they're gonna start, because you have Fotheringham, Gentry, Bryant. You have all these other guys you want to make sure get some work, and you can kind of get the back end of the tight end group kind of rounded out. So I think those guys they're going to want to play that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Someone made a good point. The Raiders aren't tipping their hand with Bowers. Yeah, I agree with that, because they're not.
I don't want to be handing him the ball. Yeah, don't be handing him the ball. Like, we don't need to be doing that yet. Like let teams be. I mean, everyone knows who he is. He's not that big of a secret. There were teams trading up to get him, trying to trade him to get him. So he's not that big of a secret. But yeah, let's not be doing the exotic Brock Bowers looks quite yet. I just want to get him in the flat. Get him in the flat. Get the ball in his hand. Let him see what an NFL linebacker looks like with another uniform on. That's it.
Yeah, I would have him blocking a lot this game too, just to act like he's gonna be in line. Him and Mayer, they're gonna switch, and it's not gonna happen, I don't think. But I would do that this game, just kind of keep people on their toes. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. All right, so next guy, I went Dylan Lobby here. Same thing. Over under 25 receiving yards, Dylan Lobby.
Over, because the quarterbacks stink at the back end, so they're just gonna be dumping it off. That's all they do in the preseason. Is just dump the ball off the running backs.
That's a great point. I'm gonna go over on this one too, because you made that point. It's a great point. He's gonna, because he is going to get some work. Let's keep it real. I think he needs to
block. He needs to pick up blitzes. There's a lot of stuff he's going to need to do. I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's gonna be hitting that over big time, because he's gonna be going especially deep into. I don't want to say deep into the third quarter, but I think he plays into the third quarter, right? Just because he's young. They they have some other running backs, like Madison can come in after Zamir White and get some carries, and Amir Abdullah, right? Those type of guys.
Mm-hmm.
If you mix it up with them, and then get Dylan Lobby in there later, that's why I think you start to see him get some of those carries on later on. So I am excited to watch him, though, because I think he is going to get a lot of run. and I expect him to hit that over too, man.
Big time.
I do.
He's one of the guys like you really want to see just kind of flat, like really stand out, because a lot of his stuff is not being. You don't really have to get that exotic with him. Like, let's just see him make guys miss in the open field. Just things. See how I just want to see what it looks like against NFL players. Because he did play at New Hampshire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that is true. I mean, he's looked pretty good in camp, but
Yeah.
when you're catching swing routes and stuff like that, because nobody's really talking about him running like actual routes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd like to see him get a slot look. See if he can go get a slot look real fast. See what he can do out of there. Maybe not. That's the time to try it.
Maybe we'll see. All right, so last over under, I did go Ramel Keaton here. Same stat. What do you think? Do you think
over? I think he's gonna have. I think on one play, I think he's gonna catch one deep down the field. I think he's gonna get like a 37-yard kind of,
from Anthony Brown.
Yeah, just not like a Mossa guy. I think Keaton's gonna have the hype train, dude. I think he's gonna make like a crazy catch, like in the preseason. Everyone's gonna be like, "Who is that?" Like we know who it is, but the average Raider fan that's turning it on that hasn't really followed the team in the offseason very much might go, "What the hell?" And he's a big guy. I hope he makes this team because they do need that size and speed profile with him.
Because I'm interested in him because when I was talking to Vinny Bonsignore on the radio, he compared him to Jacoby Myers. He said he reminded him of Jacoby Myers, and somebody that didn't run a big route tree at Tennessee, which he didn't. They ran slants.
Yeah.
Go.
It's Tennessee.
Slant,
yeah.
Slant, go, right? And he said that he looks a lot better because he's running a whole route tree. He's number 82, so we'll be watching out for him. But yeah.
And they said that about Jalen Hyatt, who obviously is going to be a little higher touted, was drafted higher, but like Jalen Hyatt ended up flashing last year for the Giants. I mean, I know they weren't very good last year, but he was able to figure some things out too. And I think in the back end of a preseason game, I hope to see Ramel Keaton kind of winning or making a contested catch, because they do need some of that at the back end of the roster.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if like, is it the route tree or is it him, and see what he can do. But yeah, he definitely took advantage of Tulu Griffin out there, because I'm telling I still can't figure out Tulu Griffin didn't get drafted. I watched his film, like, how did you not get drafted? So I think he got lucky with Tulu Griffin getting hurt in that situation. It really helped him out. But if he's running routes really well, then it's gonna help out the Raiders a lot, bro. So
yeah,
we'll see how that goes, though, man. And I don't see any other questions here because we're just kind of going over what's happened. So the last thing we'll talk about, who are we watching besides the quarterbacks? This time, what are you looking at, man? What are you looking at here, Glenn?
The secondary, big time. There's of course there's going to be a lot more groups, but DeCamerion Richardson. I mean, all you hear about, the coach's eyes light up when they get asked about him. Big, strong, fast, makes tackles. I want to see it. I want to see him go out there and make plays. Also, MJ Devonshire too. Like, see how if there's a guy out of either of those two guys, like if there ends up being like a guy who can be a part of this team going forward, that's a great pick from either one. And if both of them end up being a part of this team, then we're talking about a really, really good draft by Telesco. Also, the defensive tackles, the back end is Byron Young having the camp that everyone says he is. Rob Leonard was pretty candid about his defensive tackles. I saw an interview with him, the defensive line coach, and he said Matthew Butler didn't want to be coached last year, and now all of a sudden wants to be coached. Yeah, because you might be getting cut this year. You might decide. Like, it's like, when your girl's about to leave you, you start taking out the trash. Otherwise it's 2K in the sweatpants and you're unemployed. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
You got her on lock. So I want to see him go out there and make some plays. Like, Byron Young has a little bit more of a leash than Matthew Butler. This is year 3 for Matthew Butler. He was a day 3 pick, and he hasn't shown anything. So I would love to see. I mean, they straight up said, like, Matt Butler, I think I was an asshole. I hated that guy last year. He was basically saying that. Like, this guy sucked, and I didn't even want to be around him. And then he's like, now I love him. So let's see it.
Josh McDaniels is a damn terror, bro. It's
Yeah.
so crazy how much of a terror he
Nobody
was.
liked
Like,
coming here last year. Yeah.
man, just a fucking terror. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's so bad. We honestly haven't really heard the stories yet. We haven't. It hasn't gone there. We've heard like little
Yeah,
tidbits,
yeah. Yeah.
but man,
People are like still scared to kind of say everything. Everyone's like, well, I don't want to talk about last year, like they're always like scared to really, yeah, no, you're right.
yeah, especially because when you find out that Devon, when Adams was talking about on Shannon Sharp show, he was talking about how the car trade was basically going to happen anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, not the car trade, but the trade for Tim into the Raiders was like Gruden
Right.
was thinking about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was like a plan for Gruden. So that means no matter who the coach was, that Devontae would have came over. So it just, for him to mess that up, to me, in my opinion, just kind of shows how McDaniels was, and then like everything, it was just sick. That's what I'm saying. I'm sure he had a great interview. He's one of those guys that interviews great and then just can't do the damn job.
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
It's
Sick,
bad, man. It's bad. No, but like I said, and people bring up Nesta, Jade Silvera. He's another defensive tackle. Like back end of that defensive tackle room on this line, there is as loaded as this defensive line is on paper. I think up in the middle, there's room for somebody to really take away those last couple spots. So I would like to see some, if they can find somebody to push the pocket in the middle, and come in should some injuries happen, that opportunity is there.
Yeah, yeah. Who am I watching? You went mostly defense. I'll go offense. Of course, I want to watch DJ Glaze. I definitely want to watch
Yep.
him. I kind of want to see Britton Brown, to be honest, because we haven't really talked about Britton Brown at all, but he's going to get some run. So I want to see what he looks like, because like, do they keep 4 running backs? Does that make Amir Abdullah expendable a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
If he's a good runner, how many running backs do they keep? Right. Definitely who I want to see. And, to be honest, like, I want to see, I want to see DJ Turner too. Because there's a lot of talk about DJ Turner
Mm-hmm.
and, some of those guys. And even when you have DJ Glaze, you have, who Thayer Munford. Is there another right tackle that, Dalton Wagner,
is Wagner
right?
going to play? I mean, is he healthy? He's healthy, right?
Yeah, he's healthy. Yeah,
Okay,
he's
yeah,
out
let's
there.
see it. Yeah, back like that's a reason to watch the fourth quarter of the game. Like is see if he's something.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So you want to see what Britton Brown can do. I kind of want to see that. Kind of talked about some of the wide receivers already. Ramel Keaton. Of course, I want to watch that, but I definitely want to watch like Britton Brown, because I really like Britton Brown. I know he ran that really slow 40 time, but even as a rookie, he got no run that year. I just, it made no damn sense. He's like, you know what? You're great this preseason, but we're just run Josh Jacobs to the ground anyways, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
that's how it worked out for them. But man, I kind of want to see him. I want to see some of those other guys like that too. But yeah, I mean, because think about the offensive line, is really nobody I really want to watch besides that.
Yeah,
But
sad that
Joseph C.
we can't get Jackson Powers Johnson. That's just a sad part to me.
And you're right here, Joseph C. I definitely am happy about that. I never have to watch Jimmy G tape ever again. So hopefully, it just never happens, for me. But yeah, I don't know. No, I am not drooling over that. All right, Jackson Powers Johnson, get healthy. We're praying for you over here.
I know, man. That's a real bummer. That's a real bummer.
We're praying for you, bro.
It is. It's really even more so than like the kind of lull that's happening at quarterback. I'm really bummed that Jackson Powers Johnson's not just like chomping at the bit to like just be ready to go, having a nice camp and just like ready to tear it up week 1. That's just that's the biggest bummer of it all.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, let's get these last couple questions. You guys got any questions here? Time to ask them. So, we're getting some questions here. I like this one. Fantasy in a 12-team league, what pick would you use to draft Devontae Adams?
14.
You're on 14?
Oh, yeah.
See, if it's PPR, then yes, I would go. Because I think he's scoring a lot of touchdowns. I mean, he's going to score all the touchdowns. Not all of them, but I think he's gonna get a lot of targets, and it's gonna be shorter. So if you're doing PPR, I expect like 8 to 9 catches a game, no matter what. You might not get 100 yards every game,
Yeah.
but you're getting 8 to 9 catches. So 8 to 9 catches, maybe with a touchdown. Yeah, I think second round, 14. Because what was that? So that this you get 12 team. Yeah, you pick up 14. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad right there.
Yeah, because I just
What?
figure
What?
you have Jefferson, all these other guys that are going to go ahead of him. I don't know. I would that's second round, 14.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Do you guys think Madison's gonna play a lot? Could he play himself out of a job?
If he fumbles that football, he's out of here. They
Or if
cannot
he has
have
some
that this
drops?
year. No, and he
Uh,
had
he-
some fumbles last year. He had some bad fumbles for Minnesota, and in the red zone, I know maybe their blocking scheme, some people say wasn't great, but he's like in the red zone. I don't see him as like this amazing running back. If he fumbles that football in the preseason, and there's a interesting guy that gets cut from another team, watch out.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's see this question. JPJ, when does he have to come back for week 1 playing? That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, that's really up to them. I'm just because you know what made me nervous? I'm not gonna lie. Because the depth chart came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Matt tried to calm me down. But Colton Miller was still starting. And then Cody Whitehair was not starting.
Right.
I was oh man. So that worried me a little bit. But I hope JPJ is back by next week or something like that, and they start.
Yeah, I mean, how it's got to. I mean, if he misses this much time with what I guess it's a head injury. If that's not good, like, and for a guy who's going to be
Is it concussion? Is that what they're saying?
that's what people keep saying. I mean, and that he has like a history of it too. And I mean, yeah, he slid to the second round. This was a guy that was pretty much a lock for the first round. That's tough. That's tough. I don't, and I'm saying this, I don't know that. This is the only thing I hear about his injury is that it's a concussion. It's the only thing I hear.
Oh, like I wonder who
So
said.
that's the only thing I've been hearing, that I haven't heard anything else. And it's weird that nobody said anything.
Yeah, they're saying ongoing concussion.
Yeah, that's strange, right? Like if you can't get out of the protocol, that's not good.
Especially with no pads, man. Oh man.
That's what I mean. Like it's what happened.
Yeah,
Like
man.
like
When did he get the concussion? Like during OTAs or something?
I I mean, could be, it could be anything. I just to me, I'm not judging the guy for anything, but it's like you see why that might have slid to the second round. Like that might have been a thing that teams knew about because I had seen him mocked to Miami, to all these other teams in the first round, and it's just not good.
Oh man. Ooh. I don't know. That's a little scary though, because if it's a concussion,
It is. It's if there's certain guys just don't bounce back from those. I mean, a lot of people don't, but certain guys, it becomes a accumulating thing, and we let's hope it's nothing. But if I don't see him out there in the next 2 weeks,
ooh, yeah, I'd panic a little bit just because Cody Whitehair is just so awful at guard.
Yeah,
he's just so bad, man. All right, who's your surprise cut at this point in time?
well, I won't say Diablo again. I said that last week. Let's see, surprise cut. It's gonna have to be a big one. I am gonna say, it can't even. Chris Smith wouldn't be a surprise.
No,
I will say Madison.
that would be interesting.
Alexander. No, because I think somebody, I could see it being late where like I said, somebody else gets cut from a team, maybe a Khalil Herbert, or like, maybe they bring in a Khalil Herbert or somebody like that. And they just go, all right, well, the guy, we're not getting rid of Lauby, not getting rid of Zamir White. Maybe a guy like Sincere McCormick, but maybe Sincere McCormick has a huge preseason or something. I could see Madison getting out of there.
Yeah. Surprise cut for me. I want to say Amir Abdullah, but I don't know how surprised that is at this point. But I think it still would be a surprise for most people. I think Amir Abdullah would be a surprise.
Yeah, I kind of expect him to get cut, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm going to go Luke Masterson.
I hope not. But yeah, you might be right.
I'm going to go Luke Masterson.
They love Tommy. They love Tommy. I'll tell you that much. They love Tommy.
We ain't heard a word about Masterson this whole camp.
No, I know. It's been a little bit, it's been a little bit concerning. And Diablo, I've been hearing some hype. He's been having a nice camp. So I'll change my take from last week, even though, we'll see. But yeah, I hope not. I like Masterson a lot. I hope not. Bernie for sure is gone. I mean, like Bernie, Bernie and Chris Smith, I think, are guys that are just not going to survive the new regime.
Yeah. Masterson does play a lot of special teams. That is true, but I'm just going surprises here. That would be surprise, right? that's the surprise here.
Right.
Reserve lineman predictions. I'm going. I would go Pete. Guard, I guess. White here, JPJ, right? But right guard, Jordan Meredith is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Jordan Meredith. I think they're going to keep him, and then you go Glaze, Munford, and then maybe Wagner. But the other guys can all play center.
Yeah,
that's the thing. So, we'll see how that goes. Because Andre James is the one who really doesn't have a backup right now.
Yeah. Jackson Powers Johnson would have been the guy.
Yeah, or Dylan Parham, or even Cody Whitehair. Which Cody Whitehair, actually, when I watched him on film last year, and he playing center, he looked good.
Right.
So he could be a backup center too. So they have a lot of guys that could back up Andre James. But yeah, so that's the reverse lineman, I would think, because if you think about it, like if they usually teams keep like 8 linemen for the most part. There's a lot of versatile guys out there. They can move guys around because Pete can play left guard. So somebody got hurt, they can do a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah. And yes, you're getting breakdown of preseason game tape, bro. I can't wait.
Yeah, I got
it's Christmas. Sunday's Christmas for me. I'm gonna let you know that it's Christmas.
Nice.
Who's one undrafted free agent you'd keep on the 53? I mean, I still keep Dulu Griffin, but he's not playing.
Well, he won't be on the 53. I don't think he would be on the 53. I think they're gonna try to. I hope they try to kind of stash and IR him. I really do. Keaton would be the guy. They're gonna need somebody on the back end, as a wide receiver, I think.
Yeah. Thoughts on over under for how many defense touchdowns these teams gets? They're scoring like crazy. To be honest, I do think they're gonna make a lot of impact on defense because you got Kuntz and Crosby causing fumbles, and then you got Jack Jones. These guys getting rid of the ball quick, doing those type of things. So I think there are going to be a lot of turnovers this year, more than we have ever seen.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree. It's got to. I mean, over under. I have no idea the number. I don't even know. It's tough to say how many is even to be expected in a season, but it's going to there. I'm hoping for at least 7 or 8 like defensive touchdowns this year.
Yeah. Are you guys going to any home or away games? I'm supposed to go to the Browns game with my dudes Panda Subs. So
nice.
We'll see.
That's sick, dude. I won't be there this year. Definitely gonna the next year. I think my dad and I are gonna fly out there probably next year. Just find like a Sunday night
crazy,
game.
Bro. They're fucking crazy.
I know, that's the thing. It's just like it's a lot. Plus, you got to do the whole Vegas thing. Like for me, it's not just tickets. It's just you gotta do the Vegas stuff. And I would have been out there this year. I'm traveling a lot this year, so it's just for other stuff. So if I wasn't, I probably would make a move. But yeah, next year, 2025, I'll be there for sure. I can't wait to see the stadium.
Yeah, for sure, man. What else you got? My dude's ready to run. He's got the questions, man. Do we got 4 or 5 linebackers? I think they go 4 because I still think they like safeties and playing like big nickel.
It's a good call, actually. Yeah, because that's really where you take from, right? It's how many linebackers are safeties. Yeah, like if you keep an extra safety, you get rid of a linebacker. Kind of that kind of seems like.
Yeah, maybe 5 because I think Maga he plays special teams, so maybe 5, but we'll see. Because it's either gonna be 4 safeties and 5 linebackers, or 5 linebackers or 4 safeties. So it's gonna be in between that. But I still think Trey Taylor's gonna get some picks. He's gonna get a pick.
That'd be nice.
I gotta feel it.
That'd be nice. I mean, the way they talk about him, he should, man. He should.
Yeah. What else I got here? Make sure I don't miss anything before we get out of here. Snowden beat Robinson. I'm that's what I'm saying. I gotta watch Snowden. Maybe Snowden jumps off the tape, but we'll see
Edward?
how that
Or
goes.
what? Was it Edward Snowden? I don't even know that.
He's Charles Snowden, but
Yeah. It's like I forgot what podcast I was on. Yeah. 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 I was like, yeah, no, I like Janaris Robinson. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Janaris Robinson, I think, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I like Janaris Robinson.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. He's in Russia right now. We can't get no Snowden. Is he still in Russia?
I guess so.
Maybe, right?
Yeah, he's somewhere. Yeah.
Wrong podcast, right? Wrong podcast. All right. 6.5 interceptions, Jack Jones. That's a Pro Bowl and Defensive Player of the Year. So hopefully, but I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot.
6.5. I mean, the Raiders are going out of control. If he's got seven, he could have the Deron Bland season though. Like he is a guy that could do that. Like he is a guy. Like, and they're gonna throw at him. They're gonna have to, and there's gonna be some. We hope there's gonna be a lot of off-platform kind of chuck it up downfield. Raiders have a lead. The pass rush is eating. Like I'm gonna say he has 5 interceptions this year, that's still a very good year. You know,
that's a very good year, man. That's Pro Bowl. That's Pro Bowl year, bro. I said, did you see the Browns' new stadium? I mean, the Browns they need a new stadium. So
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Is it tight?
It looks pretty nice, but I mean, you're paying Deshaun Watson $250 million, so I don't know how you're gonna fill it up.
His ass need to put a hard hat on and build it. Yeah,
himself.
Oh, it does look thick. Yeah.
You looked it up?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, that's tight.
It's fire.
Yeah.
The face scanning policy. Now we're getting into your podcast now.
Yeah, guys, I didn't mean to open up the thing. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's. I'll test it out in 2025. Yeah. But.
Oh man. Anyways.
Yeah. Different venue, guys. But yeah, that's funny. I heard Snowden. I was like, yeah, I had an answer, and I was like, yeah.
I'm sorry. All right. So yeah. Face scanning. Me and Glen are against all face scanning. Let's just say that. We'll just say that.
All right. I don't like my face. I prefer my face to not be scanned. I don't have it enabled on my phone. My iPhone, I type the password in every time to open it. So that's my answer to that question. All right.
There we go. All right. Chris Ammon, he's upset here. Oh, the other candy's Rare Candy. Shout out to Rare Candy.
Marcus comes on it. He does the NFL stuff with us every year. Guys, in a couple of weeks, you'll get your opportunity to hear us for the first time. We do NFL, and we have a little more, we talk around the talking points a little bit and have some fun. So a couple of weeks, you guys will hear it. So, don't worry about it. I come here to have fun with Marcus and stuff. So. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Adam's having a baby or being baby. Chris M, he does not like Adam's missing out, obviously, but
let's just see, because I would and God forbid, like something is wrong. Like let's just let something, let this thing happen. I just want to make sure he's, we don't need to do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We don't need to do the speculating on a baby. Like if he's like if the baby's, I just hate speculating on stuff like that, because then you look like a.
We're going off the rails here. Right? It's hour 30. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. We got 360 in here today. Really enjoy it. Like you guys are really supporting the show, supporting the channel. Really, like I said, it's here. Rev up. We got football season coming, so definitely check this out, guys. We are going to keep grinding. Like I said, we got film coming out next week. We're doing some film breakdowns and, of course, keep the show going. So hit the subscribe button. If you're new here, it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button. And we are out of here. We appreciate you guys all joining us. Peace, guys.